Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 24th Raw review. Christmas theme of Raw. Now I saw the Off the Rope show, the one I connected to, the Off the Rope shows. Look, it's like, Daddy, dude, you do better than most people to sing, so don't worry about it. But the way that it was described by the Off the Rope show, and pretty much the British Fish, we basically knew that this wasn't going to be a regular Raw where they would be working on their business. Let's be honest, to make a wrestling business work, you need something interesting, you need storylines, you need some type of gimmick, something to make it interesting. We didn't get it here. What we got was a Christmas themed show, as much as possible, where the good guys really won a lot more than normal. Or we made it supposedly new time cheer, tried to conquer all, and that's how the theme of the show was. Honestly, at some points I just couldn't watch all of it. I did see most of it because it was just a little, think of it like sweet, severely sweet, something so sweet that it tasted so bad. That's what the WWE tried to perceive here. They tried to make this as fun, family orientated, and as good natured and good as possible, throwing a little bit of what's going on in the main storylines, but honestly did not do well. I'm gonna go out of order here. I'm not doing this in order. I'm not doing it detailed because there is no point in it. The things that wasn't too bad and the things that were bad, I'm gonna mention. The 12-man tag wasn't too bad of a match, particularly that Usos, did win. Finally, one of the Usos, I think it was Jay. I think that was Jay who won. I was happy to see finally an Uso brother, it didn't matter which one, win something on a Raw. I don't know whose ass they had to kiss to get that win. I'm sorry. They had to be allowed to win. So someone's ass had to be kissed severely for them to get this win. I'm just glad they did win, because I have not seen them win anything on SmackDown or Raw in over a year. They haven't won anything. They may have gotten into the tag team scene by beating someone, but they never won a signature win on a Raw in a very long time. I clap for you boys. Usos finally got a win on Raw. That was cool. The Hell No segments and the matches. Damian with Bryan was a good match, but of course Bryan had to win. This entire theme show was about the good guys conquering all, when there wasn't none to conquer. It wasn't. Cody versus Kane. Cody, of course, lost. And Cody's mustache is still getting over very well. He's still a babyface looking person. He's a young looking guy. When he gets into my age in the 40s, he's still going to look the same way. And he's still going to get that pop if he has that same type of mustache. He's in his late 20s, nearing 30. He will always have a baby face, like myself. What the part that I enjoyed wasn't the matches, even though the Damian and Daniel Bryan match wasn't too bad, it was quite short, was the basically afterward, when you had Bryan give Kane a dog. No, wait a minute, let me do this first. Bryan finally gets a slammy, probably from Kane. He's one of his slammies. He was ecstatic to get it. Yes. That was good. I didn't mind it. Seeing Kane get a dog and wanting to eat the damn thing, you think he's from Indonesia. Okay. That was kind of funny. You think Kane just came from Indonesia and was eating dog all his life. Even though it didn't act like it and they didn't show hot dogs, it was still something different that we now see. It's still the cold, evil-hearted Kane. I didn't mind it. Now it's time to get into the parts I did not like. These were the only ones I didn't mind. The 12-man battle royal. No, tag team. Sorry, I said battle royal. Sorry. That will be mentioned later in this video. But the 12-man tag, and when it came to Kane and Daniel Bryan's backstage, I enjoyed it. The rest wasn't the same. As already said, Hell No versus Rogue Scholars individually felt was empty. We've seen it a whole bunch of times before. Nothing good. We had the Ryback segment with CM Punk. 400 days he's there. And I agree with the Sleg Daddy that if you've seen the Sleg Daddy's 3 main events on his show for the 12 Off the Rope show Days of Christmas, he's right. He is. CM Punk had it better back in 2008 into 2009 than he has right now. And you know what? I'm going to be honest here. Let's be honest. We know that John Cena, he is doing politicking behind the scenes. We know all of them do, to certain levels of degree. But the thing is that way I see it, the WWE rewards those who put a lot more in, more than they take out. And not saying that John Cena is not putting more politicking in than most. I still believe that Triple H is the biggest politicker there right now in the company. But John Cena is at least a close second. He is. But still, the WWE rewards those who are willing to go out and do their signings at conventions, going to different shows, doing all the road stuff. He has not really taken any real big time off other than doing the surgery on his elbow in at least 5 years. Really. He's only stayed out because of injury. He has not stopped working. Barring injury, he's been there a long time, so they want to reward him. I do not agree with this, because when you reward someone in that respect, you take away from your product. And I don't totally blame John Cena. I do blame him for doing as much politicking as he can to get what he wants. But the brass in the back is the one that's causing the big mess here. Because he has done the politicking. Because he has put the time in and has become popular with the kids. Not to the extent of a Hulk Hogan. I know. I love my Hulk Hogan, man. He is still the #1 best person for the kids. But you can see it that Vince, Triple H, and probably Stephanie have already said clearly, give it to him. Screw everybody else. He's still a best bet. And that's the ones I blame. Way more than John Cena. Talent can always be found. But the ones who are in lead are the ones who control everything. So when it came to this match, and I bring this up with John Cena because of what happened with ADR, I thought ADR was supposed to now beginning to do a face turn. But he hit Santa, which we know is Mick Foley. Santa gets run over by a reindeer bit that they threw in there. It was an interesting concept because you want to get the kids fired up. But when you see ADR and Ricardo Rodriguez and you see some guy going, yeah, yeah, cheering for him, it didn't give the effect you wanted. Didn't. And going throughout the night trying to make it like that did not help. So by the time ADR and John Cena faced, and it didn't feel right because ADR is not supposed to be a heel anymore. At least he's supposed to be a betweener. They portrayed him as a betweener and it didn't work. They should have never used ADR for this. They should have used someone else to attack Santa who hated Christmas. Not someone that you're trying to get over as a betweener or beginnings of a face. Now they're going to try and make him look face, or they would let him stay as a heel, and there was no point in having that segment over at TLC. What was the point? To test it? You should have went with the entire thing, WWE. You screwed it. You messed up the pooch. And it was just disgusting. It wasn't a bad match. The 34th Street match, fight. Sorry, the 34th Street fight wasn't a bad match, but they went overboard. Like I said, if you had really the strongest streak you can see that turns you off, hearing John Cena screaming while holding the mic with ADR saying Santa, and he went like this, Santa, like that. What the hell is that? He overdid it, and it completely ruined that part. Mick Foley coming out was the only thing that made it interesting. Ricardo Rodriguez gets a whack by the sack, by the Christmas sack, and then someone gets rolled in between the legs, which it looked like a bowling ball. Boom! That wasn't too bad, but I couldn't save it. Now, the Divas tag. I love Layla. I love Alicia Fox. I love those two women. They're gorgeous women. I'd rather have seen Naomi. I don't understand why only when the Lumberjack match, which I'll mention in a few minutes, showed the Funkadactyls, they should allow them to be a part of it. We've seen the same old faces over and over and over again. We need fresh faces. Oksana, even though she's not seen much, and Rosa Mendez, seeing those two wasn't too bad, but we've seen everyone else. Put some new blood in there. You could have taken someone from NXT and done the Battle Royal with having two major people, which could have been Layla and which could have been Eve Torres. Put other people there that are from NXT. That would have been much better. Or from FCW. That would have been better. But we didn't get that. I wanted to see the Funkadactyls. I wanted to see Layla and Eve Torres with a couple of people from FCW for Eve. And you could have had Caitlyn, but then put the Funkadactyls there. Put Cameron and Naomi to be the good guys with Layla. That would have given them more exposure. You need to do something with the Funkadactyls next to them dancing. Let them wrestle. But that didn't happen. Good girls win. I still love Layla L. I love the hell out of her. She's still the most very gorgeous woman. I have never been bored with Layla. And I understand why the Slug Daddy picked her as his number one. But you know what? This match, even though it was cute, even though you got to see 8 sexy women, and yes, even though Tamina Snuka does not have a curvy body, she's not a bad looking woman at all. And mint green was not her color. She doesn't have major hips. I want to say now that Tamina Snuka is still a beautiful woman, yes, but she doesn't have this. You can see the hourglass. Tamina's like a partial hourglass. She's built like how the Russian wrestlers used to be before they started taking steroids, when they had to work hard to become muscular. That is the type of look she has. She's like a 60s or 50s women's Olympic wrestler that is from Russia. They had, before they started doing the steroids themselves and growth hormones, that is the look she has. It's not an ugly look, but it's a look of a woman who's just built like a brick chicken house, that if you hit her, she's not going down. She will knock the shit out of you and turn you inside out. As Jim Cornette once said, she will take your spine and pull it out through your mouth. That is the type of woman we got here. Now, the Jack Frost Lumberjack match. That's what I'm calling it. I don't remember the full name. If that's the name, cool. It is something we've seen over and over and over again. This led into the 12-tag match later. I've seen everything over again. We've seen the very same things. Maybe we saw a couple of people that were interesting. Seeing Drew McIntyre tie his cap onto his head instead of wearing it, that was something different. Doesn't mean it was good. The match itself was the same old match. We need to separate these two. It's over. The rivalry, hearing Cole say the rivalry has been resparked. The rivalry is dead. It's empty. Now, of course, just like the Slug Daddy said, and I agree with him 100%, and also how the British Fish talk, that this was not about trying to promote any storylines, trying to start new storylines, trying to make things better. It was just a themed show that some things were thrown in from the storylines. And those two are boring. Commentary was to say the one who made commentary the most interesting was Jerry Lawler, because the way he was... That was how Jerry mostly sounded through the night. He was either very happy, festive, or I'm hoping this a little bit. Not good for his heart though. Drinking is not 100% good for a person with a heart attack. And if he had drank a little bit to loosen himself up so he could really put a lot of energy into the show, cool. As long as it isn't too much. I don't want to see Jerry die. I want to see Jerry live a long time, because no matter what you think of him, he's not a bad guy. He's a cool guy. But he was one that made that commentary team. Not saying it was good commentary at all. Now, this is the part really I didn't even want to come up with, but it needs to be talked about. AJ and Dolph. I really didn't want to think about it. I was hoping to forget. AJ and Dolph throughout the night in that apartment, which it looked like an apartment, and the festive things of gifts, which was the Money in Bank, watching my This Is Your Life John Cena, repeating the same thing of seeing AJ beat the crap out of John Cena by pushing him off the... Look, seeing TLC and hearing TLC makes some sense for the storyline. You gotta keep promoting it because you're stuck with these two people. I would have rather seen Dolph on his own, not having to switch from one person to another. But if you're gonna stick these two damn people together, and I'm at the point where I want to kick AJ in her ass. I can't stand her anymore. I don't hate the woman personally, but the character and the permanently featuring is pissing me off to the point where I just want to beat the shit out of her. And I'm not a violent guy. I'm not. I don't want to see no one get hurt. But her character, I just want to take her somewhere and just beat the crap out of her. I can't stand it no more. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of WWE throwing this in my face and I gotta swallow it. But anyway, seeing it throughout the night kept the storyline going. So when they do the next Raw, it'll make some sense. They have to have something there. They can't just have a week empty. I just didn't like it. I didn't. I was sick of it after the second time. That's all. The last thing I'm going to bring up, which I could have put earlier, I decided to leave last because I'm very disappointed in it, but I'm actually glad about it. When we have the beef mode, Brad Maddox, this guy's beginning to grow on me. He is. Seeing him still being featured when he was with Teddy and Booker T, cool. Having the match, I figured finally he could get a win on this Raw. About to say pay-per-view, I'm sorry. On this Raw. He needed it. So it's cool. I saw Hornswoggle. I'm going, okay, finally they're going to give him what he needs. Great Khali. Oh, man. Seeing Khali, who is very clumsy in the ring. I don't hate the man personally, but he's not great in the ring. I really believe he needs to go to FCW and get some extra training. He really does. He needs training, ladies and gentlemen, for the simple fact he is too clumsy in the ring. He could improve his game severely if he went for training. It's not that he can't understand English that well, because when he was singing after the match was over, shows he could sing something. He understands some English. And after being in WWE long enough, he should have at least picked up enough English so it can be understood. But Khali really needs to go to FCW or needs to go to a private trainer and get some work done. It's not because he's a big guy and his body's built in a certain way he can't do much. He sucks. And this match was saved by a rookie Brad Maddox. He was the one that was doing the majority of the work because Khali sucks so bad. I'm sure Brad Maddox is still going to be prominently featured, probably in the SmackDown that's going to be shown on Friday, because as Slug Daddy said, both of these shows were recorded earlier. Both of them. They recorded back to back. I'm sure SmackDown is going to be seen. If I'm wrong, fine. But if I'm right, we'll see it later. Honestly, how do I rate this show? Really? And I'm making sure I didn't forget anything. I did forget one last thing. And it's also like Brad Maddox. Miz segment with the Muppets. Wanting to hear Kermit the Frog say I love you to Miss Piggy. Didn't get it. And Damien coming in to interfere was the only thing that saved that segment. Seeing Miz punch the crap out of Damien and he hits the floor. And everyone gets a very big cheer. And then you see Kermit and Miss Piggy going, "Ah!" I don't hate the Muppets, but Miz TV has now become irrelevant. And I love Miz. I do. I said it already for my themes. Miz is one of the best people with the best themes because he was considered nothing but a reality star and would never make it in WWE. And he turned it around and has now main evented the WWE in some form of capacity. Not at the top, but he's been main evented. Now he's become irrelevant because now they're showing Miz TV too much. Do promo segments with The Miz. Do more in-ring work with The Miz. And also, there was a match with The Miz with Kofi. Good to see they managed to do it. And it was with the primetime players. But still, honestly, I'm telling you, The Miz TV has become irrelevant. Miz is still going to be pushed as a face. I hope they do some more tweaking with him because he could probably do a good face if he has the right material to work with, which I don't think he does. How do I rate this show? Incomplete. I am making this an incomplete. I'm giving it an I for incomplete. For the simple fact that they had a themed show here and they went too far with it. And adding in some segments wasn't too bad, and The Miz with the Muppets, it wasn't that bad. But I felt Damien saved it more. Having the 12-man tag and one of the Usos win was a good thing for me. Seeing the segment in the back with Hell No, giving the presents was okay. Brad Maddox, his segment and in-ring work wasn't that bad. I still don't believe they didn't let him win against Khali. And then Khali singing afterward was okay. You can say what you want about that. I'm not going to say yes or no to it. But this is what we got. Incomplete. It's not bad, but they were missing so much. I could not give them even a failing grade on this. It was incomplete. The theme wasn't that well done. And the work was not well done. I can't give them a failing grade. I can't. I'm just going to give them an incomplete and see how they continue from this into the next Raw when the beginning of next year. So I hope you like the Zane's view for Raw's theme. Subscribe and comment. I'll be hopefully getting up my debate of the week or mixed bag of wrestling soon. I don't know which one I'm going to do first. It may only be one. I'm not sure yet. Have some things to do this week. So I hope you have a good Christmas, have a good holiday, and have a good New Year.